What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Throwbacks Week, where we throw it back to the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and maybe even the 70s at some point. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Coldplay's second full-length album titled A Rush of Blood to the Head. This is when Coldplay were at their peak. They were at the top of the mountain. They were on top of their game. Chris Martin was writing some excellent piano pop power ballads, some strong alternative rock jams like In My Place here on this record, and of course the song that just really skyrocketed their fame, the third single from this album titled Clocks, the one that you probably all know and all secretly want to play on the piano. I know I've spent hours trying to figure it out. Seriously though, this is definitely one of my favorite piano-led albums of all time, definitely my favorite Coldplay record that they've released to date. I think Ghost Stories did put up a good fight in terms of being a contender for one of those top Coldplay records, and I definitely was not expecting that, but it's really resonated with me, kind of like how this one has, A Rush of Blood to the Head, over the past, well, 5-10 years, however long I've been listening to it. It kind of dwells with you. It's one of those albums that makes you think, makes you ponder things of life. I think Warning Sign is one of those tracks that kind of gets me thinking and kind of gets me deep in thought about issues that I'm having in life. Kind of like how I tend to look for issues with things sometimes, like I want something to be wrong almost, and it's not necessarily there. I'm looking for that warning sign. Really love the musicality of not only that track, but really they get a nice flow going. They've got some awesome bass grooves on this one. I really don't think I would like the song Clocks as much without that bass groove running in the background. It's so up and down the scale, and I love it. It just really rounds out that song, and of course you're going to see that on the track Warning Sign, like I mentioned. There's another one that I have to point out, God Put a Smile Upon Your Face. Probably my favorite song on this LP, although Clocks is definitely still up there, even though I've heard it a million times. It's just a very, very powerful and emotive track that really kind of tugs at my heartstrings just because it makes me think of one of my ex-girlfriends from high school, and even though that was a long time ago, it's something that can still be brought to your mind and make it feel like it wasn't long ago at all. That's what music will do for you, and it can be an amazing thing, and it can also be something that, like I said, is very emotive. It's a tool used as a relatability factor by singers like Chris Martin to kind of pull that from you, and it makes the music stick with you. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but it's one of those records that does this for me. It kind of makes me sit and think. It makes me spill my thoughts on things, and it has me connected still after all this time. That moment in Clocks, whenever the bass line is running and then Chris Martin is singing Home, Home, Where I Wanted to Go, that part just really hits me hard, just because, especially this year with me moving away and everything, it's one that makes me kind of think about my hometown, all of my friends back home. I just think that whenever a song can grab you like that and affect you in different ways like years later, then it's doing something right. Politik is also a top favorite for me. It kicks off this record and it's just very smart and wise, almost like a sage type song. I love how the lyrics feel like they're just being handed down to the listener, and it's also got this amazing like piano guitar combo going on. Everything about it comes full circle and just makes for a very powerful tune. You don't even feel its 5-minute length, honestly. I think it's definitely up there in terms of Coldplay's best work. It's something that could be arguably in their top 10 of all time. Let me know some of your favorite Coldplay songs in the comment section down below, maybe like a top 5 or something like that. Green Eyes is a nice little love jam that definitely kind of breaks down the mood a little bit. I'm still into it, but I'm digging tracks like Daylight and, of course, the track that comes right after that, Warning Sign, a whole lot more. So it kind of feels like a little bit of a rut, kind of a small part in the record, but it's still a very beautiful song. I will say that. I feel the same way about the title track, another beautifully styled one. I love the lyricism on that one. I got to commend them. They've never really had a bad record in terms of lyrics. They've always been a very lyrical band, while not saying anything like too special or all that creative necessarily, or all that original, I should say. It is creative, but maybe not all that original. They are still bringing something to the table that is very relatable, is very fresh, and it's done so in a way that doesn't feel like a retread of something else, but it still kind of packs a punch. I don't feel like too much needs to be said for those long-standing singles like In My Place and, of course, The Scientist. I heard The Scientist so many times because my friend would always try and get like 100% on the vocals on Rock Band. He was trying to get it like on Expert, and so he played it over and over again and always sung it. So needless to say, I got a little bit irritated and sick of that track. I mentioned loving that track Daylight, and I figured I'd delve into that one a little bit more. That one's got kind of a nice alternative groove about it. I really love how calm it seems to be, but at the same time, it's like there's a subtle storm going on underneath it. It's like a little bit of chaos underneath there. You can hear it in the way that Chris Martin presents himself in that track. If you haven't heard this album in a long time, or if you've never heard it, period, definitely check it out. I will put the link in the description down below if you would like to hear it, or hear it for the first time, maybe. Like I said, this is my favorite Coldplay record, one that has stuck with me through the years, just because of the sheer musicianship that is presented here, the relatability factor, the emotive vocals from Chris Martin, the wonderful bass lines, the drumming, everything about it. It might feel a little bit standard at times, but if you dig further, I feel like you'll realize that there is more there, more that you can connect with. For me, this is a 5 out of 5. I hope you guys are enjoying Throwbacks Week. I know I'm having a blast revisiting all of these old albums, all these wonderful ones, all these ones that I just haven't heard in a while. I might not be head over heels for all of the ones that I'm reviewing this week, but still, it's definitely nice to mix it up sometimes and not just talk about all the new releases. So I am going to try and implement Throwback Thursday more often in 2015. There is a New Year's resolution you can hold me to. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Consider donating to the channel. It's the top link in the description down below to help these reviews keep coming. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when I upload future reviews. I normally do current album reviews on like albums that are coming out. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV.